Colleagues, I was going to say good afternoon, but whatever time it is with you when you're looking at this, welcome to the Pen 2 webinar summary for maths, the meeting which took place in Fareham College on the 2nd of March 2017. The Maths Network meeting, like all Pen meetings, is to bring colleagues together for knowledge exchange. We as FE Sussex, Consortium of Sussex Colleges, administer the meetings, and Tim Strickland, that's me, chairs them, and so hopefully we can produce a good summary of what went on. So also minutes of the meeting are available as well. So the purpose of this webinar is to summarise that meeting of March the 2nd and give you some updates on sector developments in the teaching and learning of maths. Obviously it's a reference source for colleagues who couldn't attend the meeting or you've passed the address on to, and the whole purpose of it is knowledge exchange between colleagues in the post-16 sector. So the meeting agenda centred around the following 5 bullet points. Firstly, Martin Hanney of AQA, who's I think they call him the relationship manager. He was present talking about AQA changes and developments within GCSE. We talked of the new accountability measures and some project funding that was available. And then there was the knowledge exchange. And as I always like to put on the agenda, what keeps you awake at night as a colleague in terms of your professional life. Right, Martin Hanney, he ran through various things, and I've put a summary on the screen here. The first is that actually, and the link's there for you, there's a webinar on the new maths specification. There's a link on their main site, so go to AQA and you'll find it there, .org.uk that should say. There's the post-16 support group within Hampshire, various options. You'll find a link to that at the end of the webinar. And something which colleagues were quite interested in and we did look at was the specimen papers available for new specifications, set of 4 papers, giving you an idea of the standards that are required and the grading boundaries. And then there was the materials on problem solving in AO2 and AO3. Actually, AQA have a large amount of resources available, and it was very interesting when these were being demonstrated to us. And the webinar on how AQA GCSE papers work was thoroughly recommended. And finally from AQA, and I apologise in advance if I pronounce it incorrectly, but Bernadette Cherry-O'Brien is available to support colleges until the end of this academic year. I've popped her email address on the screen, and Bernadette will attend meetings, come and see you, or certainly provide advice and guidance on the phone. She's been down to the group once already here with FE Sussex and was very, very useful. And as I say, there's no charge from that from AQA. The next thing to introduce to colleagues was the new key performance indicators, which will be introduced, well actually are present now, for all post-16 providers, be you in a school, a college, an independent training provider, a specialist college, or any other form of 16-19 funded education. The KPIs, key performance indicators, cover progress. So what did the student come in with and what are they going out with, and value added. The attainment, did they reach the required qualification. The retention figure, their performance in English and maths, and pass figures for GCSE maths and English and functional skills maths and English. And finally related destination statistics. Now those 5 key performance indicators are common across the sector. The interesting thing about them is, by the way, they're designed so parents can have an at-a-glance comparison of how students perform in the various post-16 options which are available. And they're used by all post-16 providers, as I say. They're in use now, but they're not being used by Ofsted until, well, at the moment Ofsted are saying the end of 2018. I assume that's an academic year end, but maybe that will change, we don't know, but certainly the QSR data is still being used by Ofsted at the moment. So the accountability measures are bad news if you've never had to deal with this sort of thing before, but actually for us in FE it's an extension of what we've already been doing. A quick note to say that the funding is currently available for projects up until the 14th of March 2017, so you'd have to get your skates on to get it, but it's worth monitoring the Education and Training Foundation's website for project funding for the improvement of teaching and learning, because there are funds available, and as I said, I've put one on the screen there which is current, but come the end of this financial year and the start of the next, I'm sure there will be other opportunities. We talked at the meeting at some length with feedback from Ofsted's workshop session on English and Maths. The salient points, I love that phrase, are on the screen in front of you. So these were all things which had come out in the information session from Ofsted. Some of it you'll say, well, absolutely, I understand that. Some of these points came out in the meeting we had. Free breakfast on exam days, revision from 7 o'clock in the morning on exam days, I'm not sure of the take-up of that, and then the use of Blue Sky tracking or a similar package which teachers upload their targets onto. The revolutionary thing about that was some colleges have implemented a system that if targets are not met, then pay increments is withheld for that year. And then finally, look at the Excellence Gateway for the use of digital technology in maths and in English. Though this points to Solent, it's worth inquiring about other similar groups. So this was just an information notification of the Solent Maths Hub meeting on Wednesday the 15th of March. They're very keen to involve FE colleges. They've been school-centric until now, but they are expanding their horizons and would welcome some input. So finally, in the meeting, these were some general points which came out. Attendance dropping since September in most colleges and the need to be vigilant on student attendance. The difficulties of integrating maths with vocational tutors was affecting some attendance strategies, and colleges were offering incentives as £10 for 100% attendance in a term. The absolutely rigorous implementation of attendance monitoring and instant follow-up, students' phones, student texts, parents informed, heads of department chasing students on a daily basis, all showing great effect. And finally, we discussed and acknowledged the need for maths and English tutors to be involved in parents' feedback evenings to reinforce the importance of maths and English as an integral part of the work study programme. So I hope that gives you a good summary of the meeting which took place, and if you couldn't attend the meeting, the webinar is the next best thing. Meetings take place once a term, but if you've got any specific questions and you want to contact FE Sussex by email, either info@fesussex.org.uk or tim@fesussex.org.uk, then be pleased to hear from you. So thank you very much, and good luck teaching.